My name is Chidi, and I'm from a small village in Nigeria. I was just a normal guy, trying to make a living as a farmer like everyone else. Life wasn't easy, but it was okay. I had my family, my friends, and my little plot of land where I grew yams and cassava. One day, something weird happened. I was walking in my field when I saw a strange light in the sky. It was bright and moved in a way I'd never seen before. I watched it for a while, not sure what to think. Was it a plane? A star? I had no idea. I decided to tell my best friend, Obinna, about it. He got all excited and said we should tell the village elders. I wasn't so sure, but he convinced me. We went to see the oldest man in our village, Nnamdi. Nnamdi listened to our story with a serious face. He asked us a lot of questions about the light, its color, how it moved, how long we saw it. Then he told us to keep quiet about it for now. He said he needed to think and talk to the other elders. I felt relieved. I thought that was the end of it. But I was wrong. So wrong. The next few days were weird. People in the village kept looking at me funny. Some whispered when I walked by. Others avoided me completely. I couldn't figure out why. Then I overheard some kids talking. They said I had seen a spirit in the sky. That I was cursed now. That bad things would happen to anyone who came near me. I was shocked. How did this rumor start? I tried to talk to people, to explain that it was just a strange light, nothing more. But no one would listen. They were too scared. Even my own family started acting strange around me. My mom wouldn't look me in the eye. My little sister cried when I tried to hug her. It was like I had become a monster overnight. I went to Obinna for help, but he acted like he didn't know me. He said he had never heard about any light in the sky. I felt so alone and confused. I decided to go see Nnamdi again. Maybe he could set things straight. But when I got to his house, a group of angry men were waiting for me. They had sticks and machetes. They yelled at me, calling me a witch, a bringer of bad luck. I tried to explain, but they wouldn't listen. One of them threw a rock at me. It hit my shoulder, and I knew I was in real danger. So I did the only thing I could think of, I ran. And that's how I ended up running for my life, into the dark forest, with no idea what would happen next. I ran and ran until I couldn't breathe. The sounds of the angry mob faded away, replaced by the noises of the forest at night. Insects chirping, leaves rustling, strange animal calls. I was scared, but at least no one was trying to hurt me anymore. I found a big tree and sat down, trying to catch my breath and figure out what to do next. I couldn't go back to the village, that was for sure. But where could I go? I had never been this far from home before. As I sat there in the dark, I started to cry. How did things go so wrong so fast? All because of a strange light in the sky. It wasn't fair. Suddenly, I heard a voice. Why are you crying, young man? I jumped up, ready to run again. But then I saw an old woman standing nearby. She didn't look scary or angry. Just curious. Her name was Adaeze, and she lived alone in the forest. She said she had left her village many years ago because people there didn't understand her. I told her my story, and she nodded like she wasn't surprised at all. People fear what they don't understand, she said. And they often blame others for their own problems. Adaeze offered to let me stay with her for a while. I was grateful but also a bit wary. Could I trust her? But I didn't have any other choice, so I agreed. Her home was a small hut made of mud and sticks. It wasn't much, but it was dry and safe. She gave me some food, some roasted yams and palm wine. As I ate, she told me about her life in the forest. Adaeze was a healer. She knew all about the plants in the forest and how to use them to help people. Some called her a witch, but she said she was just someone who paid attention to nature. The forest talks to those who listen, she said. It has many secrets, many stories to tell. I asked her about the light I saw in the sky. She smiled and said, the sky has its own stories too. Sometimes we see things we can't explain. That doesn't make them good or bad. They just are. Her words made me feel better. For the first time since this all started, I felt like someone understood me. The next morning, Adaeze woke me up early. She said she was going to teach me about the forest. We walked around, and she showed me different plants. She taught me which ones were good to eat, which ones could heal, and which ones to avoid. I learned how to find water, how to tell which direction I was going by looking at the sun and the trees. It was all so new and interesting. I started to forget about my troubles back in the village. But then Adaeze said something that brought it all back. You can't hide in the forest forever, Chidi. Sooner or later, you'll have to face what happened. I didn't want to think about that. I was happy here, learning new things. But deep down, I knew she was right. I couldn't run away from my problems forever. I had to find a way to fix things. As we walked back to her hut, I asked her, what should I do, Adaeze? How can I make things right? She looked at me with kind eyes and said, the answer is inside you, Chidi. You just need to find the courage to face it. I didn't know what she meant then, but I would soon find out.